My name is Kenneth Hardman. I'm 16 years old and I'm American. I was born in Malaysia, Kota Kinabalu, on July 24th, 1998, and I'm going to be answering a few questions. I came to Indonesia because of my mom's job. I moved from Singapore down here and she moved to Lipo Karawaci, where I started school at grade 9 at the second semester of SPH. And now I'm in grade 10 on the end of the first semester. I have lived in several countries in the past. I'm going to have to list it out. Since I was born in Malaysia, Kota Kinabalu, I lived there for around a year, and then I moved to the United States for another year, and then I moved to Singapore, where I went to Eton House, a preschool. I didn't go to Eton House first. I was kicked out of a few preschools, but I finally found one, and I stayed there for around 2 years. And then afterwards, I moved to the United Arab Emirates in Dubai. Dubai in the United Arab Emirates, where I went to Dubai American Academy, the DAA. And I stayed there for 1 year, and then I moved to Korean International School in Seoul, where I stayed there for 1 year. And after that, I moved to Japan to live with my dad for 2 years, going to the British school in Tokyo, where that was the school that changed me for the most. And then after that, I moved down to Bangkok in Thailand, where I went to Harrow International School. I hated that one. I had to stay there for 1 year, and then I came back to Japan, to the same school I went to in British school, Tokyo, stayed there for 1 year. And then I left again to go to Beijing, China, which was also one of the worst years, where I went to I don't remember much from that, sadly, but I went to a British school in China. And then I came back to Japan. Instead, I went to Kobe instead of Tokyo, and I went to Canadian Academy, staying there for 1 year, as I did in China. And then I moved away from there, going to Jakarta, Indonesia, where I went to Australian International School in Pejaten for 2 years. Then I moved back to Japan, where I lived there for 1 more year at my favorite school, British school in Tokyo. Then I moved down to Singapore, where I went to school at Stanford American International School, SAIS, my favorite school by far. And then from there on, I moved for 2 years there. I stopped in the middle of grade 9 to come down here to SPH in Indonesia in Lipo Karawaci. And now I go to SPH, and I've been here for 1.5 years in the middle of grade 10. I'm going to have to say I do sort of enjoy living in Indonesia for a few reasons, because there's a lot of nice people here, but it's very different from all the places I've been living in, especially since I get most of my culture from Japan and Singapore, and Japan and Singapore play host to very convenient transportation, whereas they get you to and from places really, really quickly with their MRTs and their buses, which very convenient. But now that I live here in Indonesia, everything is a lot slower, and that's one of the downsides about Indonesia. But other than that, I have a lot of friends here from the time where I used to live here, and they're still here, so I think I like Indonesia for that reason. Other than that, probably the easy to understand language. Country I see as home will have to be Singapore, because I learned a lot from that place. I have a lot of friends there who changed me and changed the way I see the world. So I think I'm going to have to call it home. And also, I still do have a home there, since my mom is Singaporean. Her grandparents and her other children live there as well. So it sort of technically is my home, other than America, in Chicago, where my sister lives, where I can go whenever I want. My identity as an expat is not hard to maintain if I'm interpreting the question. Since I've moved to more than 10 countries, bounce back and forth between them. I think I can be a qualified expat, and hopefully that I get to stay in Indonesia until I graduate, unless I move again. But preserving my identity as an expat is not hard, because even just by hearing me, you can tell that I'm a foreigner, and if you know a little bit of my story, you can tell that I'm an expat. Being an expat changed the way I've been an expat my whole life, so I don't know what I would have been if I didn't move around, but seeing how other people are, since I moved around a lot, I don't get a lot of long-lasting friends. So I usually have around a handful of long-lasting friends. Other than that, I just have normal friends, which sometimes you can forget, which is a sad thing. But so that's why I get really disconnected. But because I've been to a lot of countries, I can connect with people better and quicker. But it's a disconnection after you stop meeting them. So it's sad being an expat, but I have to live with it because it's who I am. And the way I look at the world is very different, because since I moved to a lot of countries, I know a lot of cultures. So I know how other religions work. I know how other people treat things. So my worldview is very open-minded and not biased at all. I'm practically not racist in any way, and I do not like to differentiate people between others. So I think there are some upsides and some downsides of being an expat, but yeah, that's it.